and welcome back to another episode of Jed's Moto. Sorry about the lateness on the video, but I have been commuting to work on this bad boy. This is my 2020 Honda Monkey with the CBR swap. This is a 250, obviously. You see the series below. You could click on it, see my build. It was kind of fun. It's okay. But I wanted to make a video, talk about what I like about the Monkey. We're going to do a little ride with it, and I'll show you what I like about it. So get on it. So like I said, I'm about 1,000 miles on this build, and it works pretty good. But first, and away we go. It's like lunchtime, so it's like banana land right now. It's about 38, 40 degrees, April 1st in Vermont. All right, put her in sixth, and away we go, and off we get. So the engine does a great job. It's like it's kind of a fun engine because anything south of 6,000 RPM, it actually acts kind of like the Tux, as in power, like nothing crazy. But if you rev it out, you really start to get some juice. So it actually has a lot of juice when you ring it out. But if you want to just cruise around and be economical, you just keep it in 6th gear and just putt along. It does pretty good up hills. As torque related to the 186 BBK, I would say that it's not as torquey down low, but it makes a lot more power up high. So it's just a motor you got to spin up to make the power, which is fine, which is what you would expect with anything that says CBR on it. But this is, the CB300 or CB250 motor. This is a 250, but it's the same type of engine. I could put a 300 in this. I can reflash the ECU, and we'll be good to go. So on my build, I used the stock ECU, and I gotta tell you guys, I fought and tried to get that ECU to work right, and it just never really worked right for me. So I ended up just scratching that idea and bought the A-Racer with the auto-tune EAT module. It spent a pretty penny, just about as much as I spent on the whole swap, just on the ECU. So I was like, oh god, this thing's gonna get expensive. But it helped with a lot of the problems, especially with the modulation coming from off the throttle, in idle and slower speeds like cruising. I was having a huge problem. It would just huck and buck, and you couldn't just have good modulation. It's not perfect now, but it's 10 times better than it was. So it's rideable. In fact, I could ride this bike all day long, and it doesn't break a sweat. So right now we're cruising around 48 miles an hour. The speedo is about accurate to about 3 miles an hour. It says 96 when you're reading 93. I have done a top speed run on this bike. I'll do a quick 0 to 60. It's gonna not be that great today. I've got my top case on. I've got me. So I'm not gonna go super fast, but I'll just give it to what she's got, to 60, and we'll see how it goes. But it's got plenty of power, so that's what I like about this bike. So I'm currently running, what the hell they're called? Bridgestone, I don't remember. Mollis? I think they're called Bridgestone Mollis. And they're kind of like an all-season scooter tire. It's a 110/112 bias in the front, and I'm still running the 145/70 R12 car tire, which is a aftermarket replacement for some of the old vintage Mini Coopers. They still make these tires. I bought 4 for, I want to say, like $140. So I have 4 rear tires on hand, so I can do burnouts or skid outs and stuff and not have to worry about much of anything. So I really like how it handles. I mean, as you can tell, I'm handling just like a regular motorcycle with the rear car tire. I've done dark side before on my VMAX, as you can tell. I got the video of that there. And yeah, I noticed a difference. You know, it like didn't want to hold a turn as well. With this 145 R12, I can just kind of, even I can lean and like let out no handlebar inputs, and it will hold the turn. So I'm actually going to keep the 145/70 R12 just because it gives me that added tire height and kind of emulates larger diameter wheels, which is kind of helpful when you're going faster. You know, the 12-inch wheels are okay on a stock Monkey. You know, if you're going like 35, 40, 45 miles an hour tops. But, you know, now I can get up to like 65. I cruise at 60 quite often. And it's nice to have the larger diameter tires so the little pizza cutter wheels aren't spinning like super fast. Look at that. Nice. Handles the line just fine. So, some of the things to look out for, like I said, this engine now has got, you know, gets, unlike the stock Monkey, if you're going back roads and you're going to get 100, 110 miles a gallon, this thing will get like anywhere from 70, 65 as a really bad tank to like 80, 85 with a really good tank, as long as you are light on the light on the throttle. Keep an eye on that dirt there. So, so that means that your tank is so little, your range is pretty low. You know, you're not going to be doing 100 plus miles a tank. You know, you'll get like 80, 90, and you're like, okay, I really need gas. Fill up. Also, the cool thing about going back to the CBR engine, you can put regular gas in it. This thing is tuned for regular fuel. Oh, I broke something. Okay, 0.8, 3 gallons, $3.60. But of course, the last tank I rode most of this tank on was about 22-degree weather. So the best part about this bike is that it's an exceptional backroad rider. You know, it's kind of marketed as kind of like a, you know, a dual sport. So the cool thing is, look at this, 3,700 miles on the odometer. This actually had 27 on it when I put everything together. So I've definitely did 1,000 miles on this motorcycle with the CBR 250 engine. I ride it a lot more. The liquid cooling is great, you know. Temp stays just right. I like it. We'll see how it goes in the hot summer days. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get like some better fuel economy once the weather warms up. Like I said, on the cold 60-degree days that it was, and I rode this, I was getting close to 80 miles a gallon, which was pretty incredible. We're going to go for a little spin. We're going to see. Let's do that. We'll do one fill now. We'll just go for a little spin now. And then we'll top her off. And we'll see what the miles per gallon is a second time. It's only $3.80 to fill the thing. Take a right. So I experimented with a bunch of different exhausts, and you can tell the Yoshi's very loud. The GSXR 1000 exhaust, which is like the bazooka, and everyone kind of gave me some grief on about it, was actually much quieter, and the bike seemed to run a little better actually. But I got the Yoshimura, and I bought one of those silencers for it. I had a guy buy it from Yoshimura. I bought a spring, and I think the total was like 50 bucks, guys. It was ridiculous for the baffle and the a spring. So, but it's on there, and it's made it a lot more bearable for me. It's still super, super loud. Can't be going to New York with this thing. Apparently New York just passed a law that no aftermarket exhausts are allowed, and you get a $1,000 fine. And so I guess my riding in New York is just about concluded, because all my bikes have aftermarket exhausts. This way. So we gotta watch out. There's always a dog loose on this property, so sometimes he likes to come out and chase me. I don't see him, so we're looking good. Good today. But this is the fun stuff. This is what riding, it's really fun to do on this motorcycle specifically. A little wet. It's okay. Beautiful. Engine braking is really good on this bike too. I turned the decel cut off on the ECU just because it was super choppy, like going from off and on the throttle. I still seem to have retained some good engine braking. It's not as aggressive when the decel cut or the fuel cut. So basically, you know, if you're decelerating, then you have the throttle body off, it cuts fuel. So right now it actually keeps an enrichment of 14.7 when it's on decel. So there's still fuel going into the engine, which helps smooth that on-offness. It's still a problem with this bike. You definitely notice it, guys. Like, there's no real answer to this, and you understand that this engine is designed as a downdraft engine design. The airbox sits right on top of the engine. That can't happen here. There's a big metal frame, so you have to put a 90-degree bend on the inlet, on the intake, and you have to it kind of lengthens the intake from the throttle body. So atomization is kind of odd, especially down low. I've noticed even with the A-Racer, there's still a bit of you can kind of hear it kind of popping and trying to figure it out. There's a little delay if you twist the throttle, like a little delay. It's not horrible now. I definitely got it dialed in, and with the auto tune, better than like a stock ECU, but it's there's definitely a delay. And I gotta say, like, if you're like looking to get this motor in, just be like, oh, I got a nasty Monkey and a nasty Grom, I can go do wheelies and go crazy and stuff, and you can, but this motor, I think it'd be better suited with just a really built stock engine, because that thing's just a torque monster right off idle, where this motor is not a torque monster. And with the bend, you're really down low on the RPMs, like, it works, but there's like some choking, and it's not super powerful. It's not the torquiest bike engine down low. But hey, that's my 2 cents, guys. Like, you know, take it or leave it. Easy, killer. Easy, baby. So yeah, like right there, going up over that little ridge, it kind of spit it and sputtered. It does that still. Even with the A-Racer ECU, you're still gonna have that spit and sputter. So, you know, that's the thing I'm going to tell you. It's just, you're never going to get this thing dialed in 100%. You're not going to be like, oh man, like, everything's just, it just, you know, it feels like it dogs sometimes, this, that, and the other, you know, like, and it's just going to do that. I mean, it runs pretty good, I won't lie. And for a swap, basically shoehorning a 250 into what I would call a scooter or a mini bike. It really is a mini bike. It's pretty bananas, no pun intended. I'm gonna say this: if you're gonna do this swap, I would recommend it for a guy that's like puts a lot of miles on his Monkey or his Grom, and commutes with the Grom, or does long trips, because it really kind of transforms the bike into a kind of a distance, more endurance. Just because the engine's just under stressed, it just puts along, you know, gets. We're gonna see how much good fuel economy it gets. Yep. So it really just turns your Grom or your Monkey into a full-on motorcycle, like a road motorcycle that's gonna be able to do 70, 80 miles an hour. Here we go. So we're doing 60, 65, 66, and it's just at 7,000 RPM. You can see I've got, you know, 4,000 RPM ahead of, on top, on not stressing the engine at all. Now we're just gonna do some twisties. 12-inch rim. The car tire works really good in this stuff. You know, I'm going 65. Crick's real high. Whereas the stock engine, even the 186 would be struggling right now. Be all done. I've still got plenty of tower left. Decel out. Little knee. Fifth gear. Sixth gear. Sweeper. Look through this turn. Maintaining out 60 miles an hour around this turn. No problem. On the car tire. 110, 100 in the front. Very stable. 35 mile per hour indicated. Get a little English. Oh, that's a big Mack truck. Sometimes they overdraw the line on those things. Still doing 50, no problem. Accelerating on the turn, 60. I'm gonna do a duck. Slow it down because there's stops around here. So I could be on this bike and probably ride with most motorcycle riders, and they wouldn't shake me unless they like broke the speed limit crazy. But even then, going around these turns around 60, 65, 70 miles an hour at tops. And it handles okay. You can feel the 12-inch tires really like, you get towards 75, 80, they still are like, okay, dude, you're really asking for a lot from me. I go much quicker on, you know, my Yamaha, but you know, that's a proper sport touring motorcycle. This thing is a mini bike. And that's the thing of the CBR engine. It's like, you're not going to turn it into a great stunter with this engine, but you're going to turn it into a great road bike with this engine. So let's go brim it. All right, let's see what we got for fuel economy. It's still at the top. Feeling it in my legs. Oh God, I forgot this pump is really bad, so we just lost them. Okay, 0.15 or 0.14, 14.1 divided by 0.14. So 14.1 on 0.148, 95.2 miles per gallon on the CBR engine. So if you you know, don't let it idle too much and just go on cruising around the back roads, and really likes the back stuff, not going super fast. And the highway, even spirited, I'm at 95.27 miles per gallon. We did 95.27 miles a gallon on this ride. So yeah, I mean, if you get after it and you stay north of $6,000 and really rev it out a lot, you know, you're gonna get closer to, you know, 50, 60, 70. Well, right now, like I said, like we just did a good little cruise, did some back road riding, did some short tour, did some twisty road riding and some highway riding, commuting, which is what I would call commuting, or exploratory riding. And yeah, 95 miles a gallon. Like, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. All right, folks, so that's basically it. Like, I gotta say, living with this Monkey, with the CBR swap, it works great for me. I don't stunt with it. I commute with it. I ride it. I have fun with it. So if you're gonna do the swap, I mean, it's gonna turn your little Monkey into, or your Grom into an actual, you know, useful 250 or 300 motorcycle. And it's gonna get, you can still get 90 something miles a gallon as long as you drive conservatively or ride conservatively. And I gotta say, I really enjoy it. I think it's a great little bike. I can like hop curbs with it. I can go up trails with it. I can explore roads I've never been on and not have to worry about like dropping a heavy motorcycle. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't call it an off-road or an ADV bike for any stretch of the imagination, but I would call it just a great little all-rounder, a good fuel economy grabber. And in this economy, you know, if you can get 90 miles a gallon on a motorcycle, you know, running on a rear tire that cost me roughly 40 bucks, like, why wouldn't you want to do that? So that's my 2 cents. And I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave some comments in the comment section below of what you think about this video. And if you have any more questions about this CBR swap, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Just pop them in the comment section below. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, I'll try to get some more riding done. Ooh. We got a policeman. And with that, I'll bid you adieu, folks. Keep it shiny side up out there, and I will see you on the flip. Best.